And I'll never forget the day that she came to me and said, "Okay, Geoff, I'm ready. I'm ready to get up out of this pit and serve this generation." It was one of the best days of my life. And for those few months that we got with Susan, to run with her, to chase God with her, to serve this generation with her, was some of the funnest times that we had as a youth group. She walked off her mat. She had no manual. She didn't know what to do. She had to trust God. Maybe you're jobless right now and you're walking in unknown territory. Do you have the faith that God will not leave you or forsake you?
Yeah.
Come on, I want to encourage us this morning to go to a place that we know not of. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8. Are you there? By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, he obeyed. Come on, say obeyed.
Amen.
Come on, I believe that many times in our life, God will show us and He'll say, go. And we have a choice to make. To live off of our map or to continue to live in our map. To live in our system and patterns that we have set forth in our life to make sure that we stay safe and to make sure that we get our retirement and to make sure that we have our insurance and to make sure that our kids go to the right school and to make sure all these things. But sometimes, beloved, God comes and He shows up and He says, would you be willing to walk off your map to see incredible things happening? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be necessarily the funnest things at all times. But are you willing? One, Abraham was. He did. He went. When called to go to a place that he would later receive as his inheritance, he obeyed and he went, even though he knew not where he was going. Can you imagine? I mean, here's this guy. He was 75 years old. Some of our senior citizens think that you don't like change. He was 75. He was set in his ways. He was good to go. God showed up and said, I got a different plan for your life. Come on, how would you respond? What kind of faith does this require? What does this look like? I can't even imagine. I mean, he didn't have the New Testament to encourage him. And remind and tell him that it's all going to end up good. I mean, he didn't have the New Testament. He didn't ever hear about Jesus. He didn't have those doctrines of faith that we have. He just got up and went. God said, are you willing to go? And he was. Come on, he was sure of what he had hoped for and certain of what he did not see. Come on, this type of faith requires a belief in a bigger picture than ourselves, beloved. So we have got to somehow get out of our little box and our little comfort zone that we have placed ourselves into to ensure that we are taken care of and to ensure that we are safe. But if you go to verse 10, skip forward just a little bit. But Abraham was looking forward to a city with foundations, whose architect and builder was God. Come on, this kind of faith to walk off our map requires an understanding that God is bigger. That if we would just give ourselves to a bigger purpose than going to work every day, getting our paycheck, waking up and eating our Cheerios every morning, cashing in our retirement fund or whatever it is. Are you willing to walk off your mat? Come on, are you frustrated? Are we frustrated enough from our fruitless life? You know that Jesus said, I've come to give you life and life to the fullest. Come on, he said, if you remain in me and I remain in you, guess what? You're going to begin to produce fruit. And not just any fruit, but you're going to begin to produce eternal fruit. You know that Janelle and I have been praying for? I mean, seriously, since like May, we just have been praying, God, we want to see eternal fruit produced from our lives. We want to see teenagers that lock on to you for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Come on. That begin to go into their high schools and change their high schools. Take back their schools for Jesus and go into their neighborhoods. And 30, 40, 50 years from now, still declaring Jesus' name. That they'll lock onto something right now that will change the course of their lives. I love the image of, those huge satellites that only the rich people had back in like the 70s and 80s in their backyard. Remember those things? Those huge satellites? And they had like 5,000, 1,300 two channels. My grandpa had one. And it was so cool because we got to go in the house and just turn the little dial, right? And outside, my sister Jolie would watch, and it's this huge dish, right? And the thing would move this, and I would tell her, go and see if you can see it move, because then I'm going to change and it would change the satellite. You remember those things? I'd love to go and just tweak that satellite just to frustrate my grandma. I guess you go just spin that dial. And I tell my sister, go out and watch, it's going to change, it's going to move it. But the image that I love is that satellite only moved like a centimeter, right? But up in space it moved hundreds of miles. I mean, that arc was like, up in the sky, it was hundreds of miles. And I'm praying for teens, that they would make a choice and a decision right now that would seem small. But 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, they would look back and see how it changed the entire course of their lives. Come on, we're praying in the youth house for teens. Did you hear me? We're praying for this next generation. Yeah. I found a verse the other day. God spoke this to me. Psalm 78:10. No, 18. And this verse, when I found it, I had to stop my truck. And I had to pull over. I was so excited. And this verse just begins to declare that the next generation will serve God. And I'm praying, God, whatever my reward is, may it be souls. May it be the next generation. Come on, whatever my inheritance is, God, I pray that my inheritance would be a generation that falls in love with Jesus. Come on. And we're praying for that. And I don't know why I'm preaching about that. Let's get back on our map, or our lesson, or our sermon. Let's get off our map. Come on, let's get off our map. Come on, are you frustrated enough because your life is fruitless? Come on, we need to get off the paved road of American Christianity and begin to walk in true faith. Man, I love reading the stories about the Chinese that really have to make a decision to serve God. And when they serve God, man, I got a tweet the other day from Matthew Barnett talking about this Arab girl in his community down in LA at the Dream Center. And when she gave her heart to God, she had to run and hide from her family because there was a death warrant on her life. What if there was a death warrant on your life if you had to give your life to Jesus? We have it so easy. Come on. When was the last time you walked off your map and did something unexpected? When was the last time you walked off the paved road that others paid for your life? And you got off that map and you said, God, I just want to trust you. Come on, there's someone in our youth group that's going to college that last year God entirely messed up their plans. They had been wanting to do this thing since they were young. They wanted to be in a certain career, in a certain work. And God came and showed up this last year and disturbed their plans. Said, no, that's not what I have for you. And now he's a mess because he doesn't know what he's doing. I think that's the perfect place to be. Come on, I believe that God is going to reveal a perfect plan to this guy. And I'm believing for it. But he's going to have faith. And he's going to have to trust the Lord. Come on, will you walk in the unexplored? Let's wrap this up. Because this sounds awesome, doesn't it, Chris? Come on, I want to walk off my map. I want to do the unexpected. I want to explore the unexplored. I want to be Who's the guys that explored the Columbia?
Lewis and Clark?
Yeah, I want to be Lewis and Clark. I want to go out and do that. I want to be that guy. Let's count the cost. Let's count the cost. I want to go over 5 things really quickly. Let's count the cost. Beloved, if you walk off your mat